Hi everyone, and welcome to Tarot Na, a show where Kimmy talks about all things tarot. Well, not really all about tarot, but for this episode at least, as your resident, not so expert tarot practitioner. She uses tarot primarily as a tool for self reflection. It allows us a glimpse into our subconscious minds and gives voice to the truth that we do not speak out loud. It's not just about reading your faith or fortune telling. It's about empowering and encouraging you to take charge and choose how you will write your story, especially in this time. Let us explore the subconscious and unravel crossroads. Kaya tara, taro na! Dito lang sa Streamed Siomai. Ayun na nga! Hi guys! This is Alren of Streamed Siomai and this is Not Katok! So nagtataka kayo kung bakit ako yung nag-host dito sa mumunting show namin ni Kimmy. That is because isa ako sa mga producers ng show na to. So wala talaga kayong magagawa. We can do whatever I want with this show. Charing, napaka-emotional. So yun, kumusta guys? Yeah, similar to what I did with Katok last week, isa itong surprise impromptu stream na 7:30, 7:30 ko lang nabasa yung message ni Kimmy sa invitation para stream dahil inspired din sa isang content na nakita namin sa Facebook. Tinag ko siya at oh my gosh, hindi ko pala siya na-hook dito sa Zoom. So let me do that for a bit. Okay, there it is. Ayan, so everything happens for a reason. Everything can happen live, kagaya na sinasabi ko. So, ayun na nga guys. So, sa isang idea na nakita lang namin sa social media, hence we have this episode. It's called In the Moment Reading What Now. O, diba? Last week sa Katok, we did as not so in-depth analysis with the Miss Universe Philippines 2022 Coronation Night. And this time, oh my gosh, medyo related sa mga huling kaganapan ng gagawin natin. But it's not much of an analysis, but I will give to Kimmy yung explanation in a while. So, ako muna yung makikita nyo, wala kayong magagawa. So, kung sino man nanonood dito, 3 viewers, wala kayong magagawa. It's my face. Chere. Ayan, natawa siya. No, ano lang, siguro pampalubag loob lang itong ginagawa ko. Pampa-liven up lang siguro. Kasi we all know what happened the last, 24 hours plus. Kasi yun nga, May 10 na. So, ang daming experiences, ang daming vibes and energies na kumalat throughout social media. Kaya, medyo blessing in disguise for me na may trabaho ako kahapon. Kasi, dahil busy ako, hindi ako masyado nakakatingin sa social media. But I had the time to look for memes. Oh my gosh. Memes na yung nagpapasaya sa atin. Lalo na ngayon sa mga nakikita nating mga kaganapan, sa mga progress. So, yeah. Oh my gosh. Ano pa mga sabihin ko? Yun. Sige, ipasok na natin si Kimmy para naman hindi ako magmukhang timang dito. So, hi Kimmy!
Teka lang ba, Alren? Parang
Ang energetic ko pa masyado. Wait.
hindi, yung tipong parang, ay wow, super, how do you call this? Super serious and melodramatic ang ating intro. Tapos biglang, oh guys, kamusta? How are you the past few days?
Sabi sa'yo, pangkatok talaga yung aking hosting stint. At binasa ko lang yung script dahil yun nga, naset naman na natin yung mood and tone ng show ng Tarot na. Pero tonight kasi is a different episode. Kaya magbe-break tayo ng boundaries tonight with what we usually do. Kahit sabihin natin 2 episodes pa lang si Tarot na. So, yun. So, sa mga nanonood sa atin, nakikita nyo nga na hindi nyo nakikita yung mukha ni Kimmy. Ako muna yung nakikita
It's
nyo.
a first.
So, medyo first to, para lang tong Archangel Pintados. Diba? Hosted by Pia Arcangel Emerut. So, medyo ganun. Pero hindi kamay ko yung ano. Pwede mamaya, gagalawin yung kamay ko, tas kamay na ni Kimmy lalabas. Ano ba yan? Parang...
Ayan, diba? At least we're having fun.
Alam mo ba yun nga, nung nagsa-set up tayo, iniisip ko na kung ano yung mood na isa-set natin for this stream. Hindi ko na-expect na lalabas yung pagiging lively ko for tonight. Well, I guess, ano na lang din, parang
a little bit more energy is always,
as well.
Let's be a little bit more energetic about things. There's still hope.
So, yan, yeah. Speaking of hope, yun na nga, magsimula na tayo. So, Kimmy, ikaw, how was your day? How was your last 24 plus hours? So, kumusta ang energies mo? Before we start the reading, para naman, maano
Mm,
tayo. Yan.
so, di ba, I mean, nakwento ko naman to sa'yo before, pero um, for the first time, I'm actually on a leave. So, naka-leave ako for like 2 days for other reasons aside from, o nga pala, elections and I might not take the news. Well, I might not take the news.
Mm-hmm.
Hanggang dyan na lang tayo. So, yeah, I've been okay naman. I actually did a bit of a deep clean sa room ko today kasi kailangan na saka I wanted something to do but I just wanted to rest kasi
Mm-hmm, of course.
parang ilang months bira ng bira, bira ng bira. So, it's nice to take a break.
Of course, everyone deserves a break. Everyone needs to take a break, especially ngayon sa mga nangyari. So, parang, if we can
Speaking of
find
breaks,
time. Yeah?
speaking of breaks, I saw sa mga stories mo yung break mo sa Boracay.
Yeah.
Nakakaingit ka. Kamusta?
Oo, yeah, Boracay was great. Nakamiss din actually. Like, alam ko ba, hindi ko in-expect na after Boracay o weekend, pahinga, ganyan, getting ready for the elections, and then come elections day, parang, okay, shucks. Gusto ko magbakasyon ulit. But,
May jumper po
vacation,
tayo. May jumper po tayo.
but vacation speaking naman, okay naman sa Boracay. Like, hindi naman siya yung, tawag doon, yung regular or normal na dami ng tao sa ngayon. Nataon
Mm-mm.
lang na nakarating kami doon after ng Labor Day. So, bearable. Ang pinakamaraming tao lang talaga is sa airport sa Naiya. So, doon lang
Kamusta
talaga ako
pala sa
medyo
airport ngayon? Like,
ah.
how does flying work now that there's COVID?
Well, kasi hindi ko kasi na-experience ng medyo marami-raming restrictions. Ngayon kasi na nasa alert level 1 lang tayo, para lang siyang parang normal flight lang siya na may face mask. Pero for some reason, I felt assured. Well, at hindi sa Naiya, pero dun sa sa yung pauwi. Kasi I don't know, hindi ko lang alam kung yung nasakyan kong eroplano felt really sanitized and clean or sadyang bago lang eroplano, pero it felt safe naman. Parang yung ina-expect kong feeling or anticipation na paglipad ng plane is parang medyo magpapanik ako. Hindi ko naman siya naramdaman. So, sa part ko na lang, nag-ingat na lang ako. Like, I have my alcohol with me all the time and hindi na may iwasan na, oo, kung kaya kong makipag-physical distancing habang wala pa sa flight, gagawin ko. So, kung kaya kong mag-reroute ng lalakarin, ganyan, gagawin ko yon. Pero kung sa mga places na wala, sunod lang tayo sa regular
Mm-mm.
stuff. Yun. So, naman, I guess I'm looking forward to it. Sana hindi, yung parang pinapredict natin na mangyayari sa after ng May 9, sana hindi mangyari, which is lockdown, ganyan. So, medyo natabunan yung ganong
Ay,
expectations with
I am worried for
them.
that part kasi
Mhm.
I mean, kita naman natin lahat. No matter where you go, there were like big crowds just about
Mm-mm.
everywhere.
Mm-mm.
And it's hard to maintain social distancing in big
Yeah.
crowds. I mean, sa presinto pa lang namin nga when I was voting, walang ka-social distancing sa linya.
Mm-mm.
Ang
Yeah.
haba-haba ng linya.
Yeah, parang ang physical distancing, parang pina-practice lang talaga nila kapag nasa loob na ng classroom dun sa precinct. Pero dun
Well,
sa
sa
pila
amin kasi
mismo, ayun.
sa amin basketball court.
Mm-mm. Dun mismo nagboboto or dun kayo pipila?
Doon kami nagboto sa kapila. Basketball court
Mm-mm.
yung amin.
Pero nakahiwalay ba yung mga upuan or like
Yung voting area mismo, there was tables and chairs na good distancing para private votes and all that. Pero the area was literally like nandito kami sa isang half ng basketball court, dito kami nakapila tapos dito yung botohan.
Gets. Parang they just had to make do kasi with the space na meron. Pero parang kahit anong gawin mo, parang may part pa rin na hindi talaga masusunod yung physical distancing. So parang tayo na lang mag-a-adjust, tayo na lang mag-iingat. So, kanya-kanyang naman. Pero, yun, overall naman so far sa experience sa pagboto, like, naka-encounter ka ba ng ano yun, yung paper jam? Smooth ba yung
Well,
ano?
yung sa akin, it was okay naman. Nag-confusion lang sa amin in terms of where to line up. How, and I don't know talaga what was, if mabagal yung mga machines namin or mabagal yung mga tao. Pero ang tagal ng paghintay ko. Like, I was in my precinct for about 3-4 hours. I went there at 7. I got home at 11. My parents, on the other hand, they got to their precinct at 7-ish. A little bit after I did. And then, they were home before 8 or like 8 before 9. Ang bilis sa kanila.
Ano ba sila?
So, I guess it depends.
May, ano yun? Ano ba sila? PWD senior citizen ba sila?
Di naman. It's just that their precinct is much faster, I suppose. Tapos in terms of aberrias, yung narinig ko na aberya was there was a location near us. I can't remember the exact place in Multinational. They only got their SD card or yung machine mismo at 10 p.m. election night.
Yeah.
So it was one of those aberrias. And last I heard, they were still voting as of 7 a.m. this morning. So I'm like, where is the full data coming from, Comelec? Where's the full data if there are broken machines and missing SD cards? I mean, just let the math. Don't say the math is correct if the math is not incomplete in the first place.
Sabi sa inyo, CDR
we have another jumper.
SD card siya rin. Okay, dili na po ako mag-comment. Pero yun, so far naman sa paghulog ng balota, ayun, sa akin okay naman. Di naman ako nagka-aberya. Like parang, nung pinasok na yung balota, siguro naghintay lang siya ng few seconds, tapos doon nag-printing resibo. And ayun, ganun din, sinunod ko lang din yung payo ng iba na tingnan yung resibo, silipin, as in one by one, and kinumpara ko siya dun sa kodigo ko na hard copy. So at least madali siyang i-compare. So nung nakita ko na okay, tama naman, binigay ko na. So yun, more on sa pagpila lang din talaga ako. Buting mga umalis dito 7, mga 7:15, 7:30 ako nakarating dun sa eskwelahan. Oo, kasi may trabaho ako. So sabi ko, boboto ako na maaga para makauwi agad. So naghintay ako mga more than an hour, siguro an hour and 10 minutes kung katama yung estimate ko. Tapos after nun, yun na, nakaboto na ako. Like, yun naman, yun lang talaga, parang hintay lang talaga. So, I'm not sa mga kasama, wait, hindi ko na matandaan. Like, mas matagal yata sila naghintay, yung mga kamag-anak ko. So, di ko na masyado natanong, pero yun. I guess, di ko na natanong kasi nga busy ako nung kahapon.
Gets naman.
Like, tutok na lang talaga ako sa work ko noon na medyo blessing in disguise kasi nga, yun nga, at least katuwaan na lang yung habang hindi pa lumalabas yung resulta or yung partial unofficial tally kasi doon pa pinagkakatuwaan ng mga memes, tapos biglang pagpatak ng gabi, nung pumatak na yung unang labas ng result, OMG.
Biglang everybody is now, anong balita?
Kala ko ba joke lang to? Bakit ganun? Ba't
ay, nako.
So,
Pinas, bakit?
So, yun na nga, Kimmy. Sige, let's go straight to business. Business
talaga.
Business. Pero,
sige.
Yun, before ka mag-start ng reading, kwentuhan mo naman ng ating mga ka-siomai kung bakit mo ako minessage? So, nag-start ang inspiration, ganyan. So, go ahead.
So, kanina, nataga ko ni Alren sa isang content creator. Gumawa din siya ng, I would suppose I'm calling it a what now pose. I'm calling it a what now reading, and I think you can guess what we're asking for on what now. Alren tagged me on that, and well, I don't normally do readings like this because as you guys know, when I do my readings, it's really about self-reflection, talking about the truth that the universe has to share. This type of reading delves a little bit to where I struggle with, which is more what people expect when it comes to tarot, which is a little bit like fortune telling, which I would like to think it's not. Although I know that there were people who will disagree with me, and I know myself, I have done this before, and sometimes even I scare myself. So yeah, I will leave it there.
Yes, tama naman, similar naman sa ginagawa nating past, yun nga, first two
Mm-mm.
streams, 'di ba? It is open for interpretation. Nasa sa kanila na lang if
Yes.
they want to search and see kung ano yung mako-convey nilang
Mm-hmm.
meaning dun sa magiging reading mo for tonight. So,
Mm-mm.
yun na nga, just to put support lang din sa kinuwento ni Kimmy. Yun nga, na-curious din kasi ako dun. Dahil ako, di ko naman talaga alam exactly kung ano yung kanyang naging reading. So, gusto ko malaman kung ano yung interpretation ni Kimi doon. So, hindi naman not necessarily. Suppose gusto ko ano yung pwede niyang, yun nga, sa kanyang mabubunot na cards today. So,
Mm-mm.
yun. And here we are. Yata meron tayong episode for tonight.
So,
Mm-mm.
yung discussion natin on that person's reading and how his reading works. I'll talk to you about that in a separate discussion kasi we're doing a separate reading and talking about that might color ours and I don't want that. Also, bakit
Tama.
parang tabing yung aking camera?
Or yung, sige, okay lang yan. Yan.
Ako na lang mag-adjust.
Okay lang, sige. Thank you.
Yarn.
Yan. Okay yan. Okay yan. Sige.
So, yun. So,
Sige, go
as
on.
Aaron said, for the purpose of this reading, I'm doing this live because when I get the urge to do an in-the-moment reading, I don't follow any particular created spreads. I don't follow standard spreads. I just end up at some point throwing out cards and then arranging it and then figuring out the story from there. So it's really a very intuitive practice for me. And I don't know if you can see it, but you can see here my little código. So I have the keywords set up here right next to me.
Meron
So
din
that
akong
I
kodigo.
have...
Eto, yung dinala ko kahapon.
Ibang kódigo naman yan. Pero
Yeah.
my código is so I can tell you the keywords that I'm seeing as the cards come out. Because I know that a lot of the questions when it comes to tarot reading is it scripted? Am I going to plan the cards coming out? I mean, you guys saw me as Alan and I were talking. This was shuffled in front of you several times, different times. It was cut. So I honestly don't know what kind of cards is going to show up. And if you'll notice, there are already 2 cards drawn right here on top.
Okay, can we take a look at those cards?
Not yet.
Ay!
Because
Okay. Excited.
they're not ready to be shown yet. These are cards I would term as jumpers because habang nag-shuffle ako, single cards would fall out on their own. And how they fall out, itatabi ko lang siya. So I guess you could say that in this conversation, there are 2 sides or there are 2 aspects that the universe wants to share with us.
Okay.
So I think that these cards would answer the what now. Oh no, rather what we're asking is what now. But as early as the shuffle, the universe is already giving us what's next or what's to come. So those are these cards, and I'm not going to touch them until we're ready.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess that sets the tone for what's happening next. And because it has already decreed for 2, let me just do one more cut. And yeah.
Okay.
So I guess a lot of the things that's on people's minds is what exactly happened that day. And when you say what happened that day, it's not just about the things that we experienced on ground. It's not just the things that was happening in the back end. It's really what happened. Is it what we needed? Were we ready for this sort of thing? It's also about what people are asking already is what's happening fair? Is what's happening correct? A lot of people are saying that there are discrepancies, that the math doesn't add up, that there are things that we need to watch out for. So is what's happening fair? What's next for our country as a whole? Because there's a lot of people taking sides or not taking sides or graying themselves out, taking a step back and saying, maybe what I'm trying to do is wasted. And there are others saying what we're doing is not wasted, it's what's needed, and it's still going to be needed, especially now. It's also the question of what do we as a people do next? How are we going to deal with what's happening? The change between the next two things that might happen to us. And I guess because this is for me, how am I coping with it? Or rather, how are we coping with what's happening as it's happening? And I guess really what's happening now is that we're not receiving the kind of news that we're expecting. This is the reversed Knight of Cups. So let me just go pull out the keywords so that we can discuss it together. The Knight of Cups, the keywords for this is discouragement. It's ennui. It's the loss of motivation. It's being uncomfortable with what's happening. Needless to say, the news has been divided. The perspectives of not just us but other countries has been more or less down. We're not getting the news that we like today. In terms of economics, our stock market went in the red. There are reports of us being deprioritized in terms of investment. I'm not sure if you guys have seen that news report about JP Morgan ranking as low. And a lot of other news from other sectors is rolling in. And honestly, the news is disappointing. The news is scary. It doesn't give us the kind of hope we want to see. So what really went down that day? The nation was put to choice. We had two choices to choose from. Well, we had a lot of choices. I mean, that balota was long. I was so worried that I might fold it or something sa sobrang haba. But there was a choice to be made, and I can't help but feel that because this is the Two of Swords, I can't help but feel that we went into it a little blind. A lot of people went in thinking that we just have to choose either or. We don't have to think about it more than that. But we always have the choice to unblindfold ourselves, to really look at the truth, see what's around us, and see what serves us best. So yes, we made a choice. We may have made the choice blind, but at least we made the choice. So is what they're saying now is that there's a lot of discussion on the math not adding up, the data not being complete and already being reported, different localities having, as I mentioned earlier, broken machines or missing SD cards, what have you. And there's also conversations about why was it so fast. Okay, the fast bit I kind of get because we're automating it, but also in the States they are automated, but it wasn't fast. Ours was like, hala, numbers.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Parang tumalo na lang na parang kabote.
Oo. So, is what's happening what was supposed to happen? Oh, I almost forgot. Two of Swords, right? So let's go look at the keywords for that. So Two of Swords is stalemate, a difficult choice, a catch-22. So tama naman. That's interesting. We have two twos. The Two of Wands keywords is aspiration and accomplishment. So it then begs a question of what was achieved and who achieved what. Because my question that I assigned to this card was what happened yesterday, was what happened supposed to happen that way? Was it fair? And now it's telling me that it was accomplished the way it was meant to be, the way someone aspired it to happen. So I don't know if that means that yes, things were fair. I don't know if that means that yes, things were planned. It's very ambiguous because again, we have two twos and one of them shows a blindfolded choice. So I guess because I know people are going to say, why are you saying that if you said that this was accomplishment and aspiration? You have to also look kasi at the interplay of the cards. For there to be two twos, and twos in general showing two different sides, you have to take into account how they interplay with each other. So a blind choice and accomplishing it through a blind choice. So you have to think about the different kinds of takeaways you might have from an interaction of messaging like that. Alden, patulong naman.
Yeah.
What I said for this one was, how is the country going to do it next? Like, what's
Yeah.
next for the people?
Yeah, that's what I remembered as well. Oh my gosh, sana nag-take down ako ng notes.
Okay nang, I mean, this is why when I freestyle, even I get a little lost in the story. So wait.
Yeah, pero naalala ko nga, yung nasa right, yes. Yun yung natandaan ko.
So what will the people do next? Five of Swords in reverse. In reverse pa. So the keywords for Five of Swords in reverse is recompense, contrition, and penance. So it's picking up after the fight. So yes, the fight is not over because people are still standing to waiting for the final call. But no matter what happens, we're still going to have to move on with our lives. We're still going to have to pick up the pieces and do with those pieces what we will. We still have to find a way to live with the consequences of our choices. And what I find interesting here is, if you look at the card, it kind of assumes that the people that were fighting were these two people who are walking away, and someone else entirely is left to pick up the pieces. So it kind of makes me think of how sides were made, stances were made, but who exactly will be left behind? Did either side take that into account? And if they did, why aren't they standing back to help? Or could it be that the fight is over and the ones left behind are the ones that care to pick up the pieces so that we might be able to try again someday, or to take note of what has happened and stash it away so that no one can do it again? So that's that one. How are the people coping?
Yeah,
honestly,
that I also remembered.
How are we as a nation, how am I as a person coping with what's happening?
Temperance.
Temperance. So for those of you who were with us in our very first stream where I was talking about the different cards, so temperance is one of the cards I highlighted because it's about, and the keywords here are balance. It's about harmony. People appear to be taking it in stride. We're dealing with it in the best way we know how, which is to balance our emotions with logic and balance ourselves to make sure that even if things are reverse Knight of Cups, we're not getting the news that we want, or we're getting news that makes us feel worse about the overall situation, whether it be because of what recently happened, or because I don't know if people remember, there's still an ongoing war, you know. There are a lot of different factors that's causing everything to be rather in the dumps recently. So we're really just trying to cope in the best way we know how by keeping that hope in this time of darkness, by even if things are dark, even if we know that things are looking bad, we're still holding on to that hope because it's what gives us balance.
I kind of agree with that balance. Like, can I just say, I know it's not really related to temperance or the readings per se, pero yun yeah, with all the things that's happening, we're emotions are on the rise, it's very challenging to find the spot para makaramdam ng balance between logic and emotions. Because let's be honest, when we're checking sa social media, and I can't blame naman people. Like, ramdam mo talaga, kitang-kita talaga yung emotions eh. Pero at some point, parang we need to come, or parang kailangan natin dumating sa point na it's time to not really tone down, pero time to yung logic and utak naman ang manaig this time. Although alam ko ginagamit naman din ng karamihan ng
Mm-mm.
diba? So, yun lang, yung aking commentary. Yeah.
O, diba? Pwede ka na mag-reading on your own. Charot.
Interpretations ko lang naman po yun. Pero yun, so, I guess dun lang din sa naging experience ko kahapon kaya parang, di ko naman sa iniiwasan ko kung ano yung mga nangyayaring news. Parang I still take a look sa kung anong nangyayari. Pero at the same time, parang I'm trying my best na pinapairal ko yung logic. Ayoko muna na, kasi ang hirap na rin na parang, pag emotions mo, yung nangibabaw sa'yo, baka you might end up saying something na baka pagsisihan mo in return. So,
Totoo.
doon papasok ang utak. Doon papasok ang logic. Yun.
And, Aren, I would like to point out something else pa, ha?
Go ahead.
2 cups.
Mm-hmm.
So, right now, we have 2 swords, 2 wands, 2 cups. 3 twos.
Oo, ano?
So, difficult decisions were made.
Mm-hmm.
Difficult decisions were made because we had to juggle a lot of things. Some through blind faith and others through machinations or through plans or because they dreamt of a better future.
Mm-hmm.
Difficult decisions had to be balanced. So I guess now, because these two do not want to be flipped until everything has been flipped.
Okay.
This is the transition card. What to expect to happen depend on the how do I my brain understands it, but I need to turn it into a word for you people.
Kaya man, ano yung closest word that or feeling that maybe I'll try to interpret. Baka lang lumapit dun sa kung ano yung iniisip mong salita.
Kasi yung dalawa na to, yung dalawang jumpers ko, it's the answer to what is next. Depending on which side you're on or depending on which aspect you're looking at. Ito yung what's next for those sides. Yung ito is supposed to be the transition. Nasa gitna siya kasi it's where we're at. Nandito tayo kumbaga na it can go either or.
Para siyang crossroads. Ganun.
Ayun, tama. Crossroads. This is the crossroads card.
Pero I have a question before you proceed. Is it possible to have, like, let's say in the future readings, is it possible to have more than 2 jumpers?
Yes. I had a reading before na lahat ng cards ko were jumpers. As early as my first shuffle, tumatalon na sila. Now, it could be because I'm not very good at shuffling. That's always a thing.
Okay.
Pero kasi, because these are chance occurrences when you shuffle, you also have to take into account na baka, this particular card has something it absolutely wants to say because it keeps jumping at you. Literally, physically jumping out of the deck.
Yeah.
So,
I guess the reason I wanted to ask that is because baka lang din isipin ng tao na laging dalawang side. Bakit laging dalawang sides lang? Bakit hindi kino-consider yung iba? Ayun lang. Pero at least, thank you sa pag-clarify na there's a possibility na pwedeng more than 2 jumpers pala.
Aren?
Yeah.
May na-notice lang ako sa sinabi mo. Dalawa.
What?
Recurring theme ngayon, is 2.
Yeah. 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 Oo nga. Posible. Total. Dahil, oh my God.
Wait. Double check ko yung
Sige
book
lang.
ko. Kasi may thing ata kung multiple 2s ang lalabas. Double check ko lang
Sige, go ahead. So, habang tinitingnan ni Kimmy yung kanyang book, so,
okay.
Oh my gosh, I'm the bad person when it comes to recapping.
So,
Nandiyan na siya.
While the Temperance card is not the Two of Cups, it still features 2 cups in the visual. There are 2 swords in the visual. There are 2 wands in the visual. This one is holding 2 swords with one stabbed onto the ground, and 2 swords are behind him, so that doesn't count because technically he's holding 3. But 2 swords, 2 cups, 2 wands. 3 twos in any reading means there's segregation happening.
Segregation, like,
Nagkakaroon ng click. Parang nasa high school na naman ulit tayo. May mga the cool kids, the popular kids, the nerds, the jocks, the rich kids, the palibhasa kids. Yung mga ganon.
are you saying na
So,
parang nasa stereotype? Or is that a different concept?
di naman sa stereotype. I think medyo na wili ka kasi I used stereotypical terms for high school groups. Pero,
Yeah.
kumbaga, 3 twos means nagkakaroon ng groupings ang Pinas. So, lumalabas na ang talagang mga like-minded sa atin. Or at least, kung sinong mga nadadala sa mga grupo.
Oh my gosh, I have a question. This is kind of a very heavy question. Are you
Go.
saying that although, oh my gosh, are you saying that now more than ever the country has become more divided than ever?
In less words than I have used, yes. This election has definitely shown how divided our country has become.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Oh my gosh, Kimmy, we have a question. This is my friend from high school. Hi, Dana. So, ayan, paano nga daw kung yung mga nasa... Yeah, I like her question. Yung mga nasa neither side ng mga political ek na nangyayari ngayon. So, which is yun nga, yung tinanong ko sa'yo kanina na parang ibang sides. So, parang what if hindi lang dalawang sides lang yung kung nasan yung taong yun.
I didn't quite call it out specifically kanina, pero that's actually what I meant by this card. So, 2 sides fought and someone is left behind to pick up the pieces. So, who is left behind to pick up the pieces? Is it those who were on the neither? Or is it whoever cares to keep it up despite it being left behind? So, whatever happens, when there are 3 people and 2 are in a fight, whoever's left in the middle has to either pick up after them, try to fix it, or just deal with the fight happening above their heads. And in this case, the fight is over. People are starting to drop their swords. Others are raising their banners still. But what's your plan? Are you planning to pick up? Or are you planning to just walk away? I hope that answers that question.
Okay, medyo nakarelate ako doon. But I kinda go for the proactive part. So, I mean, sa ginawa ko But yeah. Okay.
So, ayun. Papunta na po tayo sa exciting part. The last 3 cards.
Your daughter, Chaneng. Okay, go ahead.
Is sleeping with my husband. Your daughter is sleeping with my husband. Diyos ko.
Sige, go ahead.
Totoo, nakakapagod siya, Daniel. Pero, wala eh. That's the
Yeah.
cards we've been dealt with. No pun intended. All the pun intended. Sige. Pero thank you, Alren, for helping me figure out the word I'm looking for. We're at
You're
a crossroads now. And there's really 2 ways that it can go. And our crossroads is... The 5 of Cups? That's... The key words for 5 of Cups is loss or regrets. As you can see here in the 5 of Cups, the person is mourning 3 cups that have fallen over, but hindi niya tinitingnan yung cups na natira sa kanya, which may 2 pa siya. You'll also notice, I'll bring this up closer, 2 of the cups are spilling a red liquid, and 1 cup is spilling a blue liquid. So we can assume that the blue liquid is water because parang sa lahat ng mga old art and current art, basta blue yung liquid, that's usually water. The red though, that can either be wine, so meaning we lost something worth celebrating, or it could be blood, which is something worth saving. So we're regretting the fact, our crossroads now is that it actually ties together with the Five of Swords, no? We're regretting that what has happened has led us to losing either lives or a reason to celebrate. And we've lost some of our resources because we now have less water to take with us on our journey.
Can
But
it... Ay, sige, go
go.
ahead.
Sige, tapusin ko lang.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
But nonetheless, the journey still has to be made with, once again, 2 cups left. So this is the 4th pair of cups that has, this is the 4th pair of 2s that has returned. And 4 2s, if I'm not, let me double check, 4 2s. Hold on.
Sige.
4 2s in any reading now means that there has to be a dialogue. There has to be a conversation between whatever happens next, because it's only through that conversation that we'll be able to identify the way forward without losing any more cups.
Okay, I think that answers my question.
Ano yung question mo?
Hindi, parang, really, okay, hindi ko siya ma-construct sa isip ko. Pero, yung mga napakita na liquids na tumapon, can it also signify kung ano yung matatapon pa in the future? Like, parang present lang din ba yung kino-convey nung liquids na yun? I don't know where I'm getting this, but...
It's fine. That's a really good question. So, those liquids, for me, whenever I look kasi at these cards, it's resources. It's what you have left to give, or what you have left to take with you in your journey. So, kumbaga, isipin mo yung tao na to, sobrang uhaw na uhaw siya. At parati siyang may dalang mga water jug. Pero hindi mo alam kung anong nasa loob ng water jug niya. Malay mo, kape, alcohol, wine, dugo, kung vampira siya. I mean, we don't know. It could be tomato juice for all I know. Pero kasi if you look at the overall card, so assuming nandito siya, ang papuntahan niya is this building over here. So, travel pa siya pa ganyan, mag-cross pa siya ng bridge. What's the bridge on top of? Water. So, on his journey, there's still going to be resources for him to get, stuff for this person to drink. Pero he only has 2 jugs left. So, how will these 2 jugs take him to the bridge? Hindi natin alam kung anong nandito pa bago siya makaabot sa bridge. Alam mo yung parang sa Dora the Explorer na yung map hanggang dito, pero when she gets this part of the map, may parang may mountain na sobrang taas, or may cliff na kailangan niyang iswing. Yung mga ganon. So, yun siya. So, parang ang pwedeng din masabi nito is kailangan niyang ingatan yung natira niya. Kasi kung matilapon din to, wala na. Goodbye. Goodbye, Philippines. Joke.
Paputok po yan, guys. Pang Happy New Year. Okay.
So, yun.
And yeah, oh my gosh. we have actually revealed
last 2 cards.
And andyan na jumper cards. So, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch the tiger by the toe. Why would you want to catch a tiger by the toe? If he hollers, let him go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Okay. Ito mauna.
Okay.
Ito mauna?
Wait, I have a question.
Muna?
Before you flip
Go.
that card. Magma-matter ba kung ano yung mafi-flip mong jumper card sa simula? Parang, wait, ano ba yung tanong?
I get what you're trying to say.
Yung parang, kung
order
ano
of flip.
Yes, yes. Does it matter or can it, parang, hindi ba siya nagma-matter na kahit sino yung mauna, ang possible na mangyari? Parang ganun.
The order does matter, but the placement also matters. It's in this case, in my head, what's already made sense to me is this.
Mm-hmm.
So this is one side, this is the other. Whatever happens, the crossroads is how are we going to move forward without losing what we still have. Um, I'll leave it up to the viewer or to the interpretation that I will be spouting in a few moments on which card is for what side of this equation. So whatever happens, we are still in the middle of everything.
Okay.
We are left with a side that has caused us to leave things behind and a side that has resources left for us.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the card that will be revealed first. So we have here the reversed 3 of Pentacles. Hold on, let me just pull up the keywords for everyone so we can kind of think of it together.
Sige, later on, could you kindly show it the card lang din? Makita
Sure,
lang
I
din
can
yung
break.
details. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So reverse 3 of Pentacles. I find it hard to describe the reversed meaning of this card without first touching on the upright meaning of this card. So normally, the 3 of Pentacles means that you've been working very hard on something and you're being recognized by your peers for the good work that you're doing. Except in this case, displacement is the key word here. Displacement and mediocrity. So there's a misplaced sense of ano yung word na sinabi ko kanina? There's a displaced sense of recognition. People are being recognized for the wrong thing. And everybody knows it's because they're doing not the best work they could be doing. Mediocre ang ginoobra nila. And this displaced sense of recognition will mean that we're giving the wrong kind of resources to the wrong kind of people. Because if they're doing a bad job of it now and you give them what's left, what's going to happen to us? Parang, I don't know why this just came into my head, but do you remember that story that we were told as kids in Christian living class about the brothers who had to invest stuff? Na this one brother, oh, I'm going to get this wrong. I'm so sorry.
Hindi ko alam, sorry. So, pinapakinggan ko lang din.
Wait, I'm trying to think if there's another variation that's better. Do I go for does the candles one make sense? Okay, I'm not going to make sense. I'm seeing Danielle mentioning. Do you know the story of the talents? Yung 3 brothers were given a certain amount of money and they were told to bring it back to the father. Yeah, 3 talents, 2 talents, 1 talent. Thank you. Now I remember. So the eldest brother got 3 talents, and then if I remember correctly, he spent it all. Wasn't able to bring back anything. The second brother got 2 talents, and I think he invested 1 and then used the other to do something. And then the last brother, who only got 1 talent, just buried the thing. So when they came back to the father, the first one not having anything to give back because he spent it all, the last one gave him only 1 because that was what he was given and he just buried it. I might be getting this wrong. I'll probably have to look up the story of the talents later just to be sure of what I'm saying. But this is what I remember. The last brother, because he buried it, he just gave back what he was given. But the person that had 2 and invested 1 was able to bring back more.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess even though that's 3 brothers, you have to ask yourself, which brother is this person who we are recognizing for mediocre work? And I will leave it at that.
Parang hindi po kami mabash.
Now, the last card.
Ito na.
Kinabahan ba ako? sorry.
Familiar tong card na to. Very... Wait.
Alren, okay, viewers, I know you might be wondering ba't biglang tumawa ko, ba't biglang gumingiti si Alren.
Yeah.
If you were part of our very first stream where we discussed the logo of Tarot na, the Page of Cups is my card. The Page of Cups is the card I consider my significator. And, okay. Alren, patanggal naman ng what now?
Of course. Yeah.
Yung sa frame, kasi may what now pa sa ilalim. Hindi makita
It's gone
si
now.
Knight of Cups. Okay. Thank you. When the Page of Cups appears in any of my readings, I take it to be that what the universe is telling me and the way I am explaining it is 100% true because I am telling the truth and the cards agree with me by virtue of the Page of Cups appearing. So yeah, that's the Page of Cups. Now, the keywords for the Page of Cups is that there's a dreamer yet who is ready to give the news that we are not expecting. May plot twist pa na mapasok. Because we're still looking at the possibilities. We're open to any possibilities. And if so much as the water we're drinking, bigla may fish na tatalon sa mukha natin, mabibigla ba tayo? Oo. Pero matutuwa ba tayo? Oo. So the keywords are dreamer, sensitive, poetic, receipt of personal news, and for it to be upright means that there's good news ahead. So I don't want to predict the future because that's a can of worms I'm not here to open. But there is news that is coming, and this news will be here to give hope because that's what we need most of all. We need to believe in that better things will come, and that we need to believe that there are good things in all that is happening to us. I mean, syempre, kasi think about it. Nag-iinom ka ng tubig, bigla may isda. Maiinom po ba yung tubig? Hindi na. Pero, you know, a pet fish. So, it's looking for that silver lining in everything that happens to us.
That felt reassuring.
So, there you have it. This is what the cards are telling us right now, in this moment, about what now, what is happening now, and what is to come. So, yan.
Wow. That was a roller coaster ride, to be honest.
It always is. Basta mag-freestyle ako. It is always a roller coaster ride. Hindi ko talaga masabi kung anong mangyayari.
Yeah, in a sense, parang, I don't know, kayo na bahala mag-interpret, kayo na bahala kung paano nyo i-convey yung mga naging readings. I have my own interpretation of it, and there are parts of it where I can relate to it. Pero we will leave it up to you. Kayo na bahala. But Kimmy, before we go, or is there anything else that you'd like to say, like to tell to our... Oh my gosh, ang saya, can I just say na parang all throughout the stream, merong nanonood na at least isa. Pero habang nandun na tayo sa jumper cards, like nasa 5-6 viewers na. So I don't know, I guess they were also curious.
Thank you very much, Senyo, for joining us. To those who are still on the stream, thank you very much for spending some time with us on a rather harrowing Tuesday night. Alam ko sa sobrang daming mga pwede natin magawa on the internet. The fact that you spent some time with us, that means a lot to us. Kaming mga depressed for... So, ayun. I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Pero Aaron, na-curious ako. You said na you were able to like come up with your own interpretation. So, for you, ano yung nakita mo?
Baka mapash ako eh.
Sige, mamaya na lang pagkatapos ng stream.
Basta medyo nakita ko yung sides na tinutukoy mo eh. And how they, I don't want to say match, but how those certain personalities bumagay dun sa mga dun sa naging readings. And again, it's just me, I mean, base lang sa pagkakalam ko, base lang sa nakikita ko, base sa observation ko. So, I kinda wanna end up with it.
Yan.
But, yeah, kayo guys, sa inyong mga 4 viewers na nanonood, Dana, thank you so much ha. I know, this is your first time watching my stream na live talaga, hindi yung replay. So, it's been a while. Kwento ko lang din, Kimmy, sa mga closest best friends ko nung high school. Like, dalawa lang naman
Ooh.
talaga sila. So, it's really nice to actually have contact with her this year lang. So, yun. Thank you so much for the support. And ikaw din, Dana, let us know kung ano yung interpretation mo of Kimmy's reading. Like, feeling ko magkakasundo kayo. Magkakasundo rin kayo nung best friend namin na si Rihanna. I have a strong feeling, Kimmy.
I love her name already. To
Yun.
the left. Wait, that's the wrong artist.
Different spelling lang, but yes, I believe she also
Hindi kasi
has.
yung kinanta ko was ano eh. To the left, to the left. Ay, wait,
Ay,
hindi yan
oh,
Rihanna
shucks.
pala.
Oo nga pala. Nasa isip ko nga talaga umbrella or something. Pero yun, I think she also has an interest in tarot cards, tarot reading. So I have a feeling that the three of you will jive. Ay, lakas ang feeling ko. But yeah, so oh my gosh, it's been nag-play bigla yung music sa ano ko, sorry. Pero yeah, I mean, wow, just wow. So I don't know, I felt reassured. Ina-adjust ko lang yung music dahil kailangan kong baka hindi ko marinig ang aking sarili. So yun, I don't know, I mean, it just felt okay, bigyan na lang, ayoko na mag-ano. But yeah, I know you kind of said your things, pero do you have any other final words before we cap off the night?
I guess if you enjoyed today's session, please follow us on our social media accounts. So you can follow Alren at Streamed Siomai, both here on Facebook and on Instagram. And you can follow myself on Kimmystique Readings. It's a very awful pun on my nickname and the word mystic. And yeah, I love and hate puns, so please forgive me. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram, so if you have any questions or if you want to know more about tarot, I'm here to help you start your journey or just to like geek out over cards. I mean, there are worse things to be fanatic about in this world.
That is true.
So yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kimmy. And I have a feeling that we have a new format of what we can do in the future episodes. Like, this is actually interesting. Like, someone who's not really into tarot and then someone who's actually doing the reading. So someone who can actually blow the questions on the spot, which is me. Laki magagawa. Show ko to. Show namin to. Channel ko to. Respect my channel.
Oh yeah.
But yes, you know what I mean. So yeah, thank you so much for shedding light into this. Like, thank you also to everyone who has spent their precious time and precious energy with us. Alam ko na yun nga, sa panahon, sa araw, sa mga susunod na araw, kailangan talaga maging maingat tayo sa kung paano natin suspend or gagamitin ang ating mga energies at oras, diba? So, you'll never know what could happen, diba?
First and foremost, what I need to remind everyone is protect your own energy. Don't give what you don't have. Give what you can. But remember that you yourself, you need to sustain yourself.
Exactly.
So, self-love, self-care.
No matter
take care.
no matter how cliche it sounds, kailangan talaga now more than ever na alagaan natin ang ating sarili, ang ating mga energies, ang ating mental health. Yes, kasi hindi ito yung pinaka postong oras para magkawatak-watak ang ating mga sarili. So, ano yan?
Don't worry everyone. Maski anong mangyayari, papunta na tayo sa exciting part.
Yeah, so
Your daughter.
sayang medyo nag-die down yung trend na yun, pero love na love ko yun, by the way. So yeah, for sure, darating din, magma-manifest din ang ating mga exciting part, whoever it may be. So, just a few updates, I guess. So, sa aking, on my end, some of the episodes of Katok, so season 1 ay aking dinadump sa aking YouTube account para lang kung sakali ma-take down ng aking Facebook page, mapapanood nyo pa rin sa YouTube yung mga re-edited full episodes. Re-edited meaning tinanggal ko lang yung mga gaps, ganyan. So, nandun lang sa YouTube, just search Streamed Siomai. Kimmy, ano lang muna yung camera kasi gagamitin natin sa dulo. Thank you very much. At medyo ayan, thank you very much. So, yun, pasensya na. Sabi sa inyo guys, live, very impromptu to dahil hindi planado. 7:30 lang namin to pinlano. But yun, if you are curious kung paano ako oh my gosh, nakakahiyang sabihin. Paano ako mag-progress as a host? Oh my God, ang kapal ng face. So, kung paano ako mag-host sa pinakaunang Katok episode. Nasa YouTube yun. Sobrang cringe. So, cringe fest is there. Pero, sa susunod na mga araw, i-upload ko pa rin yung mga ibang episodes. So, ayun. And maybe in the future, i-upload ko rin tong si Taro na. Baka unahin ko pa to. But yeah, in the next few days or in the coming weeks, yun, i-upload natin para lang for backup safety. So, again, thank you so much guys for spending your precious time and energy with us. So, if meron kayong sariling interpretation sa naging reading ni Kimmy, feel free to take some time and write down or i-record nyo lang or yung mga palaisipan tungkol sa nasabi natin reading. So, with this, if something happens and it reminds you for discussion, pwede nyo i-revisit itong episode na to and tingnan natin kung how tarot works through you. So, kagaya na sinabi namin kanina, very open to interpretation. Pwedeng mag-iba ng meaning na depende na lang talaga sa kung sino ang titingin sa mga baraha. So, just to recap, ito yung mga nabunot, ano ni Kimmy, na open ni Kimmy ng mga cards. So, thank you very much for this very impromptu episode. This is very interactive. Like, for viewers pa rin ng nanonood. Maraming salamat. Yeah, thank you very much. Wala na ako ibang masabi. So, let's keep our energies within. Let's take care of ourselves. And, yun nga, always hope for the best. Let's pray. And, drink some water. Hydrate. Very important talaga yun. So, yun is the best time to take care of ourselves. My name is Alren of Streamed Siomai. This is Taro Na with Kimmystique. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you Kimmy for the reading. Thank you for the idea. Thank you so much. So, kita-kits hanggang sa susunod. Looking forward ako to streaming sa either dito sa Taro Na or sa Katok. So, I'll let you know kung surprise man or hindi, kung planado man or hindi. We'll let you know. Thank you so much guys. This is Taro Na with Kimmystique.